Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I salute Lord Sri Krishna, the teacher of the world, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura, the supreme bliss of Devaki mother. I salute him again and again. Om peace, peace, peace. We are reading on the chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, and this is karma. Karma is very important role in our life. So how to do karma and get out of the karma, that is discussed here. Karma sannyas, there is always a question. Karma means all trouble. So when karma makes all trouble, some people think that it's better to give up the karma. That's why lazy people, they can take this course easily to understand karma itself is some difficulty, and it creates confusion, it creates animosity, fight, jealousy. They give up the karma. So that is not the suggestion Bhagavad Gita suggests us. The karma is not to be rejected so long we have our body identity. So I am eating, I am sleeping, I am doing, and I am so lazy, spiritualizing that I give up all karma. Because why this question came, that because in India monks don't do any karma, so-called karma. Neither family duties, neither social duties, he has no responsibility. He one day says, okay, bye to the home, that's all. And they live wandering monk, door to door. And there are genuine, of course there are genuine monks who have really with the spirit of renunciation. But many may do take this path, recourse, that it is easier path. So why to take trouble? Just spend the day anyway and bake some food and lie down somewhere and enjoy life. But that does not give us solution of life. Rather, karma is to be done with proper spirit, and then identity with the karma and its results are the problem. By itself, karma is no problem, but when we do anything and we have our expectation, karma while we do, there is also friction because of our ego. So if that one can learn how to do egoless karma, no ego, all conflict goes because my ego versus your ego, my understanding versus your understanding. So when that ego part is released, then karma is not bondage, karma is joy. That's why when you do work together, all shared ego, that's joyful karma. There is no conflict. 5 of us add together, we will do this, and we are all participating totally and joyfully, cheerfully we can do. So ego is one barrier. And the second barrier is, I do this and I will achieve this goal. I should have goal, but I should not cling to the goal. I should make the effort to do the work as best as I can and relate it given to God to give the result, whatever comes. Whatever comes, I accept it. Then one can be free. They are the two causes of our bondage and suffering. So Bhagavad Gita suggests that yogis by body, yogis abandoning attachment, perform work. They do their work. Their body works, their mind works, their intellect works, and the senses. They do this for purification of their ego and this attachment. Two problems, ego and attachment. So these two, to reduce, the yogis, those are karma yogis, they do work, they don't get take them away from work, but get engaged into work. And his 12th verse we have read, abandoning the results of action, that means not expecting the result, and whatever comes, to accept it boldly, joyfully, cheerfully as gift of God. After my all effort. Gita suggests always 5 at the point of success in performing any action. 5 things are necessary. 5 adhisthana. First you should have a strong body. Adhisthana means the body. Tatha karta. There should be one ego that I shall do this karma, I shall perform this action. Adhisthana tatha karta. Karanancha prithak vidam. Then one should apply all his senses, eyes, ear, hand, feet, intelligence, mind, focused in one way. Karanancha prithak vidam. And perform the action to get that result in the practical way as much as we can. And if I fail one way, then try another way. And that fails another way. I am relentless to achieve the goal. But ultimately what happens last? Give it to God. These 5 factors. Healthy. We do work. We have all these organs, hand, feet, everything we have. I have our body. My body is not fit to perform one type of work. So the end result will not be good. My body is good, but my senses, I don't see properly, I don't hear properly, I do something, I understand, misunderstand, and I do things differently. So that senses are problematic, then I cannot reach the success. Even these two are reasonably okay, and then body is there and our senses are alert, or the instrumentality or through which we do work, they are all working. And then third point will come, that effort, sincere effort. And I am trying little effort, and failure, we should not be despondent, rather to be more enthusiastic to reach the end. Say God realization is our goal. We are trying our own way. I tried this, it didn't happen. Tried that, didn't happen yet. But shall I give up that path? So then there is no success in that karma. It is also a karma, sadhan. It's called the sadhana, means spiritual practice is a karma. So, but no, I shall try this way, that way, that way, that way, that way. And then surrender to God. Oh Lord, this is my optimum ability, I have done this, and let you take care of it. If you wish, whatever you, that's the last resort, is surrender. So these 5 factors will be needed for performing any action which is perfectly to be completed. But if one can do this with surrender and all this procedure, he will perform the work but not get into bondage. So sarva karmani, that's why last verse we read 13 verse, now we will read today 14. This is, so first to do work and give up the result of the work. Then one yogi who is wanting to connect with the divine attains peace, and that peace comes actually. We do our best and give up. There comes peace. But I did it, why I didn't get it? Agitation. And that effort should be, why I am to reach certain destination by driving. I do my best, but there is no reason of my being agitated and fighting with the next car who have just crossed me, or some other person who is honking me. I should not be disturbed with that. Rather, let us pay attention to the driving. And with my best effort to put my mind in effort driving, and let what happens, rather sing a good song, nice song, and cheerful, be cheerful. We can enjoy the driving. We can go, oh my God, I got a little relaxation now because I am not to drive. But the same position can be with my attachment, my expectation, and mind is so agitated, where we could have perfect peace, we became perfectly unhappy and every point cursing somebody, showing anger and frustration to others. So similarly in our life's journey, in spiritual journey, in our worldly achievement, that karma should be done in that perfect way. Trying that, that's why doing karma, they become cheerful, joyful. And doing karma, we become depressed, we become frustrated, we become angry, we become agitated, and overtly reactionary. So this is that if we analyze the situation this way, then we understand what can be done, what is the necessary steps to be taken. These are the two steps. No expectation, ultimately, though I have a goal and expectation, I expect it should happen. I do 1000 japa today, my mind will be calm. If we think that way. But after doing japa with distracted mind, nothing happened. So I should not be frustrated. I should try another way to cool down the mind and take advantage of this principle of japa practice. And doing, anyhow, nothing happens, say, no ma, please take care. So, and be happy. This has happened, I am happy with that. But then we can bring comfort. Mother says, does anyone get God by only repeating the mother's name, God's name? By His grace it happens. No, that will soothe us. So that is the point, how to do the work, any work, and find that peace. So 13th verse says, Sarva karmani manasa, all karmas, manasa sangnasa, mentally renouncing those, that as if body mind is functioning, not me. The self-disciplined indweller who is inside is jiva. He rests happily in this, and he is sitting here in the 9-gated body, 2 eyes, 2 ears, mouth, nose, like that, all the 9-gated body. Now, karma pertains to another argument now Bhagavan gives here. Karma does not pertain to the Atman, to the self. It pertains to the Prakriti. Prakriti means the nature, the 3 gunas or 24 cosmic principles. Interaction happening there. Karma, Atman does not do anything. It only is there. But all the functionality, potatoes and lentils are jumping in the boiling pot, but it is not, they are self-powered. They are powered by the consciousness behind. But Prakriti does not do, it is there. In the oven we put it. Fire does not do anything, it is there. And because of the fire, all these are working in there. So we see that Prakriti is working. No, I think I am working. I do not work. I, if we mean not the body, not the mind, in Vedantic perspective or Sankhya philosophy, according to Sankhya philosophy, there is a Purusha. Purusha is akriya. He does not do anything. He does not participate into anything. It's like onlooker, glass, mirror. One mirror does not do anything. Anything comes before it, it reflects. It goes away, bas, it has no retention, it has no memory stick. But for us, anything comes, anything we do, that retains and mark in our mind. That's the sanskaras we grow. So, Atman does not do. That's why he says, na kartritang, na karmani, lokasya srijati prabhu. Prabhu means that conscious entity who is inside, na kartritva. It does not bring us that kartritva, the creating agency or action for the world. Lokasya, karmani lokasya. In this plane, whatever activity, he does not create anything, and he does not create union with the results of action. Nature does all this. So all these things are happening in the nature, but I am thinking I am involved into it. I, if the body and mind, that's okay. Body and mind does that work, but I don't do anything. So I am the Atman, I am the consciousness, I am the Purusha inside, unchanged. All interaction is happening. In another place we read that guna guneshu vartantu. All the three gunas, all the nature is made of three gunas. Sattvika quality, rajasa quality, tamasa quality. All the transactional world, whatever we are doing, it is happening in these three levels. One quality of sattva is interacting with another quality, and in this interaction is called our life. Sattva, rajas and tamas. So anger is a rajas quality. Hatred is a quality of rajas or tamas, no? So these are action, these are quality. It is not the Atman. I the pure, I the selfless, I the eternal. It is not that. It is only Atman remaining untouched, undisturbed, and non-reactionary. The only action is happening in the gunas. So this is the point. The guna guneshu vartante. So all our interaction, Premeshananda Maharaj used to suggest this type of thinking, that we can get angry, get into action, get into reaction, but always to know that it is the action between the gunas with the gunas. Sattva-guna with this another Rajaguna, there is a clash. Tamaguna with the Rajaguna, there will be clash. Rajaguna with Sattva-guna will be clash. So these are all happening in the gunas, the qualities of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So this interaction is happening there. In the Atman, nothing happens. It is there. So always to hammer on that point, whole goal of the Gita Upanishad and Bhagavad, etc., is to point out that the unchanging reality is absolute in one. It does not do anything. It is there. It is the constant reality. And upon it, all the names and forms are functioning in one way. The gunas are playing their roles, or the 24 cosmic principle is in the manifestation of that absolute in Maya or in ignorance, in Prakriti's play. So this verse is said, then how do we act and interact? It says that it is naka svabhavastu pravartate. Then who does all these things in this active world of ours? Who does? If I do not do then who does? My mind does. I thought this way. My hand did. I created this. I cooked this way through the hand. I went to purchase that thing from another place. All these activities is going. They are not to the Atman. Atman, where it will go? It is here, it is there, it is there. Wherever we go, it is already there. Isha Upanishad says the mind and this, there is a competition started with mind and Atman. And mind tries to catch the Atman, that where is he is not or not. He said, now tad dhavatu. Then mind started dhavatu. Dhavatu means running, to find Atman, competition. But before his mind runs and make much effort to reach, he sees that Atman is already there. There is a gross example like that. It is all perfect, already existing. Only mind tries to measure it, understand it. Intellect wants to understand it, grab it. And it is functionality of the mind going on. That's also 24 cosmic principle. One of the cosmic principle, 24. It is acting in the buddhi, intellect. So, all the activities, actions are going on in the nature and prakriti. That's it, prakriti they call. So, all this agency of doing or the actions for the world, that God does not. We say that God, many people normally put God into trouble by putting why this disaster is going on, what God is doing then. Is God sleeping now? He does not see the problem of ours, so much suffering, so much pain. He says it is not. It is, I don't do anything. I am beyond all action. I am not the doer. I am there only, and I only eternal witness. I observe everything. That's why next verse says, this is very important. We sometimes, this is the question for all the time comes with God, we try to protect God. No, God does not think this way, God does not do that way. What God does, what we know. But Bhagavad Gita says, na datte kasyachit papam. Oh, God is punishing me. I am done something, God is punishing me. No, na datte kasyachit papam. God does not give you any punishment for your sin. Nachaiva sukritam vibhu. Or He pampers you to the heaven. He does not do anything. Who does then? Yes, God, people do good action, they get a good life, they get a cheerful, joyful life. We have the concept of he goes to heaven, or he does wrong, he goes to hell. So, but God does not do. And who does then? Another God, parallel God, like Satan does that. But Vedanta will say there is no Satan. But then who does? You cannot put to Satan, you didn't put to God. Then who does? Well, svabhavastu pravartate. Your svabhav, your ignorant nature, your thinking, misunderstanding the actions of the body and mind as your action and your enjoyment. This satyanrite mithunikrite, truth and untruth, the reality and which is not, they have got just intermingled. And we are seeing one thing for the other. As we move, and sometimes that the train is running, we feel that the garden is running back. On the right side there is a land, and the railroad goes through many distinctive areas. Those areas are flying back. We are sitting and they are running back. In a motion, sometimes we journey in the train, sometimes people can think that way. It is no, I am sitting, it is a train, they are stationary, but my train is moving. So action, we impose one's action into another. The Atman which does not do anything, we impose that I do. And the Prakriti which does everything, we don't look at the Prakriti. So that's why it is said, it is your karma, it is your own. Ajnanena avritam jnanam. Our knowledge is being covered by ignorance. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, 15th verse, na adatte kasyachit papan, na adat means the omnipresent does not take note of the merit or demerit of anyone, or he does not give merit or demerit to anyone. He does not do. Then who does this? It is your svabhava, your own nature, nature which is born out of ignorance. Out of ignorance, the idea comes, I am the body, I am the mind, and so all the actions of the body and mind appears as my action, my achievement, my failure. But I am the Atman, I have nothing to achieve, nothing to fail. It is a Prakriti, identifying with Prakriti, My ego says, I am happy, I am unhappy. My mind says, oh, I am sad, or I am emotionally attached or detached, whatever. So it is happening in that level. So God does not give anything or punish anything or give any blessings to anyone in that sense. So it is omnipresent, does not take note of the merit or demerit. Knowledge is veiled by ignorance. The mortals are thereby deluded. Therefore, we, the mortals, who live in this body identity, in ignorance, we think this way. Prakriti, Prakriti or nature is constituted of 5 elements. Here he is explaining what is the Prakriti. He said, your Prakriti, your doing, Jnanena Abhritam Jnanam, your knowledge is being covered by ignorance. That's why you are mujjanti. You are, mujjanti means are deluded, and that's why delusion creates all this problem. So here the explanation says, Prakriti or nature is constituted of 5 elements. They are the ether, air, fire, water and earth. Akasha, which is equated with space, is the substratum on which the other 4 elementary elements play and parts. Good and evil emanate from them in the course of their interaction. But Akasha remains unaffected by these modifications. In the same way, Ishvara, God, remains unaffected by the merits and demerits in the being. They are giving that 5 elemental thing creates this universe. The space, so many things are happening in this space. But space does not get attached to anything. Space does not have to feel that I am lost. In space everything is happening, space remaining unattached. Similarly, Atman remaining unattached, all this happening in body and mind. So karma done by body and mind, but Atman does not do. This is the clear idea again and again, repeatedly expressed here. Good and evil emanate from them in the course of their interaction. But Akasha remains unaffected by these modifications. In the same way, Ishvara remains unaffected by the merits and demerits in beings. A crystal glass seems to take the hue of the flower brought to its proximity, but actually the crystal remains ever itself. Similarly, Atman seems to take the characteristics of Prakriti, while actually it does not. People who are in ignorance impose the traits of the Prakriti on Atman and gets deluded. He is giving the example of a crystal. We bring a red flower before the crystal, it takes the color of the redness of the flower. But it does not change, it remains same, but it appears to be red or yellow or blue, whatever. So similarly, the Atman remaining undisturbed, it appears to be that colored with the coloring of the nature. A noble thing comes, we call he is a noble person. What is something happens in the nature, something wrong, and that is imposed of the Atman. So Atman never gets touched by that, as the crystal does not get touched by anything brought before the crystal. Though it appears the coloring has entered into the crystal, crystal is unaffected, even it appears to be. So it appears that body, mind, I am working, but the Atman does not work, it is the body mind working. The relationship between Purusha and Prakriti is very well explained in these 2 verses. Ishvara is bliss and perfect poise. Karma has no place in his blessedness. Prakriti gets itself vitalized in the proximity of Purusha. Jivatman gets bound when he identifies himself with Prakriti. So the same thing is talking again and again. In proximity, Prakriti gets identified, Jivatman gets bound as we are pure self, but we become individual soul. Jivatman gets bound, we get bound in bondage when one identifies oneself with the Prakriti. He gets emancipated when he detaches himself from the Prakriti. And this is the essence of Vedanta. So Swami Vivekananda says, let go thy hold. Sannyasi in bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. So it is all attachment. You can give up the attachment, this moment you are free. There is never anything has happened. It is crystal, looking yellow, looking blue, looking colored. And really we cannot separate out this color and the crystal then because of the proximity. But when this detachment comes, then we say that crystal remains crystal. It was before, it is, and it will be. Like the example they gave, Vivartavada, Shankara's philosophy. It was the rope, it is rope, it will be the rope. Snake was imposed, superimposed. It came, we felt, we had reaction, we cried out, we jumped out, we did whatever, but the rope remaining the rope all the time unchanged. So this rope example is too old, but we go back to it again and again to understand. But they have selected one item, very good item, how to feel that fear of snake, no? Fear of the world. World is so much crushing. Why crushing? Because I am involved into it. If I can detach, who can touch me? That is the point. Here is the power, this karma yoga idea. Then working, body works. It matters little. I am not. I am the pure soul. So if that practice is done while performing action, then karma will not bind. Karma will be, body mind is doing. I have not done. That story that one gentleman, Vedanta student, did something maybe right or wrong, and he was taken to the court, and the court punished that person that for some time period of under prison. Then he said, "Sir, I didn't do anything, my hand did." But then punishment for the hand, not for your Atman. I am not punishing the Atman, but I am punishing your own body. So long I have identity with the body, naturally I will feel the pain. Actually, it is very simple thing how doctors are proving every day that it is the body is something. This feeling of pain or pleasure, it can be just manipulated. It can be adjusted from outside control. But the Atman remaining the same, I consciousness never gets polluted there. But it appears and we get involved and we get into pain and suffering of life. There is a quote from Ramakrishna. The burning lamp gives light to one and all round it. Some use the light for cooking for their food, others for reading sacred books, and yet others for forging false documents. The merits and demerits in these several acts do not in any way affect the light coming from the lamp. So no one blames the light. Light can be, one can do puja, one can do reading a scripture, one can do some forgery, one can make a good plan to kill somebody. So that taking help of the light. But light is not affected. Light has been whatever way you use. That's why good and bad. This is also another, Ramakrishna's example are more clear, that Atman does not do anything, you cannot blame. You are pure all the time. The light is shining. But that light shining, how it is done? Who did it? Prakriti did it. Nature did it. Our nature means also our nature means our past life's impressions forces us, our action of our mind and body. Many people say, I want to be good, I want to do this, but I cannot. As if something is pushing me from my own unconscious awareness, which is driving me to do this, forcing me. Duryodhana said, no, I know what is called righteousness, but I cannot do that. I know what is unrighteousness, I cannot stop myself from not doing that. So this is what is the problem. I don't do anything. Oh Rama, Krishna, you do all this problem. It is just putting the blame on God. But it is not that. This is Prakriti doing, your samskara. Your repeated thinking in one way had created such an impact in the mind that mind forces us to follow that. We are helpless there. That's why to change our samskara, that is the karma, helps us to get out of the samskara. But disassociating with our karmic result and attachment, detachment. So the merits and demerits in these several acts do not in any way affect the light which is coming out from the lamp. In this wise, the consciousness, in this wise, the consciousness equally present in all beings makes all sorts of activities possible in them because of its proximity. So the good and bad deeds, however, of being do not go to the pure consciousness which is Ishvara. So it does not touch God, God does not. Main thing is that we have to think that our karma, we have to pay attention to our own karma. Don't to put on blame that, oh, God is forcing me, what shall I do? God is not doing anything. My karma, my own old impressions, my samskaras, my prakriti, my nature is driving me this way. How I can improve that prakriti, separating from the consciousness. I am separate from my action. I do to the instrumental mind, intellect, ego. These are instruments. I am separate from the instruments. One is carpenter is doing some carpentry work. Carpenter is separate the conscious item. The instruments are tools. That is necessary. And the wood work which is going on in the material of the wood, that is different. So from it is sharply different from the person, the carpenter, with the tools and the ingredients. So whatever we find in the world, tools and the ingredients, this eye, ear, nose, throat, these are all tools which through you operate. And the mind, etc. is there, and the external object is there. So these three make a joint package, and Atman standing behind throws the light on it, and everything appears to be real, and we get involved, and we feel our joys and suffering. If it is a fact that the Lord does not take note of the good and bad acts of people, why then should they be exhorted to do good and eschew evil? The answer says. But if God does not do anything, your consciousness is separate from the Prakriti, then why we should try for doing anything? Well, no, the reason is this, because ignorance, which is the cause of all suffering, will not leave us. That's why, Jnanena, 16th verse, Jnanena tu tadagyanam yeshang nashitam atmana tesham adittavad jnanam prakasayati tatparam. Now, Jnanena, by the knowledge, to tat agyanam, that ignorance. When ignorance is gone by applying the knowledge, this is the knowledge. Atman does not do anything, I do not do anything, it is my body-mind is performing, the Prakriti is performing, my sanskaras in the mind is forcing me to do. I am not involved into it, though I seem to be appearing that I become identified with. But I am never. How much I try to justify, nothing has happened, it is only an appearance. But when the knowledge that I am the pure shining Atman, I am unattached, I am full of peace and joy, I have no need to do anything. People do things, why? To get something. But I don't have to get anything. I am Atman, I am pure. So when this conception, this knowledge becomes firmly established, jnanena, by that knowledge what happens? Ajnanam jesham nashitam, whose ajnana, ignorance, is nashita, destroyed. That atmanaha. What happens to them? Tesam adittavaj jnanam, their knowledge, like a sun rising. Sun's light does not depend on anything, it is self-luminous. So self-luminous knowledge comes up and it shines through, destroys the ignorance and brings one to self-knowledge. So that is the achievement. Achievement is that if God does not do, Prakriti does, why I shall be working to detach from the Prakriti is important, because if we don't do, we will be suffering. We will be in the sway of love and joy and misery and suffering and pain and all these dualities. But once one is successful in bringing the wisdom and knowledge, and their ignorance is destroyed by that way, then the ignorance is destroyed by self-knowledge, then the shining like the sun, the knowledge reveals the supreme in them. They feel in their heart the supreme light of consciousness always reigning in. So they don't have any demand or desire or action. That concept, action concept does not come. Action comes only from imperfection. Action comes incompleteness. I am incomplete, I will be complete by achieving this. I am lacking this, I will do this, perform this work, I will attain that. I will complete my whatever thing I am still waiting to get. This karma can give me that fulfillment. But actually, I don't need anything. I am self-sufficient. I am full of joy, full of blessings. There is no need. But then we feel the need. Well, it is not you. It is in your mind. It is in your emotions. You are carrying all these things wrongly. Some people carry so much emotional attachment to anything. And because of that, whatever good, bad comes. But when the detachment goes totally, then they become free, totally free from it's good or bad. It does not affect us. See, many things are happening today in different areas. We are not attached to that, so we are not involved. The things are happening. I may hear a news, oh, is it so? That's all. That much is my reaction. But if I know it has happened in our center or it has happened with some devotees, we feel so much affected. Where is the problem? Attachment, detachment is the problem where? It is in the mind. But if I don't know the news, even someone I know I passed away just now, so I am not affected. So how our mind is getting affected and I feel affected. Mind is not getting affected because I don't know the news. And the news comes. And Ramakrishna said the example also. Someone says that your son has passed away. Wrong news. In early days there is no information, technology was not developed so much. So somebody brought a news, oh, you know, I got a message that such and such place, your son was working and he is gone. He has died. And the mother immediately fell down unconscious, no? And afterwards some other time, that the story should be opposite. Someone was sweeping the floor, doing the normal work of the homework. Somebody came, do you know such and such boy or such and such girl is such a young age, she passed away, or he or she passed away. And the person who was sweeping the floor, she was sweeping and doing, and said, ah ha ha, she was a young boy, such a young age, what, and no. And then next person came and suddenly said, it is not your son, your daughter. Huh? And she fainted immediately. It is really, in our life, if we find that we are not attached to that person in any way, mentally, emotionally, or in no connection, then worst thing happens there. I do not know. It is happening for others. I am not feeling any pain or emotion. God realized people like Swami Vivekananda, Brahmananda, they can feel the suffering of others. They can, because they tune into that consciousness by their grace. But we ordinary people, where my eye is attached, eye is connected, little in this way or that way or that way, there I feel emotion, there I feel sadness, there I find someone says, I got a good promotion, which is known to us. I said, oh, congratulations. No, I am happy with it. Because I am attached in any way. His joy or her joy is my joy, a little bit. Similarly, his or her suffering is my suffering when that attachment is there. But much worse thing may happen to another person side by side, but I don't feel that connection. I am detached there. So it is not that we cannot detach. We detach normally where our emotions are not connected. That means Prakriti is not interacting with the object. Guna, guneshu vartanta. So it is only my emotion is, mind is happening, it is a part of the guna, triguna, and the incident happening in another, their interaction is going on there. But the Atman is the only revealing factor. This entire incident, who reveals? It is the Atman, the light of the Atman that he reveals. So this is a very simple thing but very tricky. We have to struggle life after life for this, just separating this false identity. Intellectually sometimes it appears so easy. Why I don't understand that? But next moment I get caught into that trap of identification, attachment. Because we never think I cannot separate myself from my body, mind, emotion, intellect, effort, which is the nature of Prakriti. And we have associated with for long time. That's why to get out of it is a severe practice and effort. That's why Dasarath, now Vasishta, Yoga Vasishta, Ramayana. And the Vasishta says, Vasishta is teaching Rama. Oh Rama, you have practiced this identification with the world for life after life after life. Rama. But that will not go away unless janmantara satobhastha. Janma antara means life after life. Sato means hundreds and thousands of births you have passed through like that. Rama, samsara samastiti. Oh Rama, you have established yourself in the world and think this is real, that is real, that is real, that is real, and feeling that identification, and you are suffering from this identification. That will never go away unless satu chiro obhaso yogena bina. Without, bina means without, chiro obhaso, practice. And practice not morning and evening, chiro, long time practice and constant practice. It will not be destroyed, this identification will not go. So, though it is very simple principle, we are hearing that the whole theme of Gita, Bhagavad and Upanishad is the same, Vedanta is the same, Bhakti is the same, meditation is the same. All detachment, meditation, detach from outside, try to think here. No? Talking about detachment. Karma you are doing, karma you do. Let hand, feet do the karma. I am not doing. Any good, bad comes, okay, it has come to the body and mind and there. If they are functioning, let them feel that their attachment, detachment, or their joy and suffering. I am not. So how to separate I? That is the principle is being taught and taught. But karma yoga is a very important point because we do karma most of our time in which we live in this world. Daytime is the longer time period. Sleep time we cannot do anything, no spiritual practice. And dream time also it is not our control. So only the available time is the waking time. The waking time is full of karma. Dhyana is also a karma for us. Mind to do meditation is a karma. Mind running this way, bring it back, going here, again bring it back. Or Vedanta, I am the witness, this is the work. So it is all detaching, which we have attached unconsciously. So this is the idea that darkness vanishes when the sun rises. Ignorance ceases to be with the dawn of knowledge. As the sunlight reveals things in their true perspective, self-knowledge or Brahma Jnanam posits the reality of Brahman and the evanescence of Prakriti. So Prakriti is to prove, that's why called Maya, Sonasheno hi harsana. It is a beautiful statement in the Vedanta scripture that this Prakriti appears so real and we are involved through the Prakriti to our nature, to our senses, to our mind and this. But when one understands this nature, play of nature, then she makes a way to realization. That's why you call mother opens the door. And that is the Prakriti. Prakriti is worshipped. Another language, mother, divine mother. Mahashakti, mother. So Ma, please open thy door. Because his identification, it is her play going on. So because with the consciousness and the Prakriti mixed together is called Shakti. And that Shakti then helps us separate out these two identity and one gets liberation. So Brahman, the reality, as the sunlight reveals the things in their true perspective, self-knowledge or Brahma Jnanam posits the reality of the Brahman and the evanescence of the Prakriti. Prakriti is not eternal, Atman is eternal. So this knowledge it gives. The knower of Brahman knows he is Brahman and nothing else. So that ultimate Karma Yoga they are talking about whole Vedanta. It's okay. Therefore we can now the responsibility is on us. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. So today we read verse number 14 to 16 only. 14, 15, 16. 3 verses.